BATC, STC, wherever we have friends. If that was my friends list, we'd only be about 3 people. So we're just waiting on Vice Chief Pratt and Vice Chief McCollum. They're in Meadow Lake. I think Vice Chief Craig went to the wrong building. I heard he was in flying dust. Who has? I don't have Vice Craig. Do you have Vice Craig's number? I don't either. Does anybody have Craig's number? Yeah, I'll speak it here. Right? Do we have enough chairs? I need one more chair. Yeah, I'll be it. So put
Testing. Welcome to IOPS. We're doing a special media release on a Every Child's Matters event. Usually on IOPS, I never go with anything that has to do with political, but this is special circumstances, so I've agreed to allow to go on live on IOPS as we are in Meadow Lake under Meadow Lake Tribal Council, Chief and Council, and leadership under the Tribal Council. So we will be going live, as you see right now, due to a matter at hand that they're announcing here. So please share wherever you're watching from, as this is for everybody across Canada, North America, Turtle Island, and who.
as usual, Vice Chief Pratt's going to make a grand entrance. So we're just waiting on Vice Chief Pratt. As for your cell phones, we'll have you on silence or whatever you call that. Oh, there you. As usual, I was just saying, Vice Chief Pratt. You guys don't look when Vice Chief Pratt's putting on his shirt. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the media presentation that we have today on an event that happened in our city, our little town of I call it unjust actions. What a way for our new tribal chief, who isn't really the tribal chief till October the 9th. But I told him, Jeremy, this is a real big issue. I'd like you to participate. What a way to kick off Jeremy's start to our tribal chief. So first, before we start, I want to introduce and just give a hand to our new tribal chief, Jeremy Norman. We have we're on IOPS, right? We're on to. I'm your MC today. I'm the pre-vice chief of the Meadow Lake Tribal Council, and I dearly miss my partner. Especially today. I want to thank the, just give me a few minutes, please. I want to thank the elders for the pipe ceremony today. It's always good to start off in a good way, to make sure that we remember where we come from, who we are, and the prayers that are given to us by the Creator. You know, this morning, as I got ready, and for the last few days, I was filled with anger of the actions of other people, the actions I cannot control. And sitting with the elders this morning, they talked about the natural laws of life and what that means. And it took my anger away. It talked about how we have to have respect for each other, how we have to, the natural laws of respect, the natural law of love. Those laws that we have to give out. Because we are good people like that. You know, I was angry and I was coming at this from a different angle. I was coming at an angle of frustration, of our brothers and sisters not understanding us, not understanding what this orange shirt means to us, not understanding the hurts that our people have went through. So I was angry about this. And the elders, in their good ways, put me in a different light. Put me in a different, to use my gift that the elders talked about this morning. The gifts that we all have, that we bring to the table. The gifts that we all have as different races of people, that we all have that we bring to the table. And how we bring that off in a good way. How we try teach instead of scold. You know, I know it's hard to be humble, but we must be if we want to be positive. We can be mean, we can talk smack, but it's better to teach. And that's by this room full of orange shirts to Canada, to Saskatchewan, to the rest of the world, shows our togetherness of what we stand for. You know, I talked to a few people. You know, we can't mention the ladies' names that were affected by this directly in fear of their employment. And I had a chat, and I said, that institution may be able to silence those individuals, but that institution cannot silence the Chiefs of Saskatchewan. I want to start off by introducing our new tribal chief, Jeremy Norman, and saying a few words this morning. Jeremy?
Good morning. I want to acknowledge all the people that come out today to support chiefs of the Mltc and the FSIN, and of course the elders for lifting the pipe and the prayers for today. On September 30th, the two ladies, First Nation ladies, were sent home from work. You know, who wore their shirts, you know, to honor those who didn't come home from residential school, those who are surviving today. You know, and we wear this shirt with pride. You know, as a young man growing up in Meadow Lake, I didn't always have that pride. You know, when I looked around, I didn't see a whole lot of role models, First Nation, you know, and always talked down on. So when that ladies were told to go home, I'm sure a lot of people felt all the injustices that they went through living. You know, I had a lot of fights growing up. That's how I handled it. It wasn't the right way. Fighting in school, fighting on hockey. That's how I dealt with it. You know, that's how I dealt with being treated unfairly. And my message too today was going to be different. The Chiefs, I thank the Chiefs for the wisdom that they give us. You know, because scolding or being mad at this injustice would be no different than when I used to fight. We ain't going to get anything better. We're not going to move forward together, making things better. You know, so elders have told us to, you know, let's try spin it with a positive outcome. Let's work together. Let's educate the province. You know, there was Truth and Reconciliation Council had 18 calls to the justice, you know, where lawyers are to learn cultural, sensitive history and this this still needs to happen. You know, we still need to educate. My grandma, she went one day to residential school and she ran home. She was lucky. She didn't have to go through what many of our people went through. So I guess in closing, the province, we need to sit down. We need to educate more. We need to work together. You know, the school systems, I think, are doing a good job. You know, and the court, to have your own workers in your court system sent home, you know, what does that show to our people going through the system who aren't in their employment? And with that, province of Saskatchewan, we need to work together to make this better for our kids, you know, make it a better place to grow up than what we've grown up. You know, I look and things have gotten better, but things can get way better. Thank you.
I honestly don't know how Jeremy got that all out of the 2 sentences he has written on his page. So that goes to show you that he does well. I'm going to ask Chief Alfred DeWatser to come forward. He has, as one of the individuals, was one of his band members that were affected by this. I'm going to ask Chief DeWatser to come forward, please.
Thank you, Vice Chief. Good morning to all of you. Thanks for being here. Good morning to the chiefs, counselors, elders, staff, and media members, special guests. I want to acknowledge my fellow chiefs, FSI and executive. Thank you to the elders for lifting up the pipe this morning. It is important to start these sessions with prayers. On September 30th, 2 of our First Nations ladies were requested to go home and change their clothes as they attended work in Orange at the Meadow Lake Courthouse. Most provinces have honored September 30th. Saskatchewan has not recognized the importance of September 30th. Every child matters. To further insult, adults are being sent home to change their clothes. I call on Saskatchewan government to recognize September 30th as the day for every child matters and in the heart of the truth and reconciliation. 2024, and we continue to witness disrespect. We have to heal together, better for all society. Thank you to the survivors. Keeping your faith, continue to fight for the respect. And let's love each other and work together. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. I'm now going to ask on the FSIN, the Vice Chief of the FSIN, Craig McCollum, to address the media, please.
Mltc pa kakyaw. Si pagmaigan ni sigasan iban ni Hiopas sa kusinya. Kita amskat na wow. Nigan nista inaskman mamanutawinan. Agwa katea. Agwa ugamawa. Agwa kakyaw. Good morning, everyone. I greet all of you in a good way. I shake hands with each and every one of you. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge Creator for allowing us to sit here today, to amplify this message, to share this story, because it's important. To the elders, I thank them for their prayers this morning, for lifting pipe for us. Their prayers each and every day, they're always looking out for us. They say that when someone prays for you, it's the ultimate sign of love. And so we thank our elders for that. To the leadership that are present, Mltc, the executive, the chiefs, to Vice Chief Pat, for standing here, for using their gifts to share this message, to stand up for our people. I acknowledge you. To all of the media that are present, to the staff, community members, the survivors, our elders, everyone that's here to bear witness. When you come to things like this, when you come to report on things like this, to the media specifically, I thank you for sharing our message in a good way, for helping us amplify this message. Today I stand before you with a simple yet urgent message. It's unacceptable that a provincial justice system, a system that exists to serve fairness, truth, and equality, refuses to recognize the importance of Orange Shirt Day. Orange Shirt Day is not just a symbolic gesture. It represents a critical commitment to reconciliation and confronting Canada's dark history. It's a history of cultural genocide, forced assimilation, and the horrific legacy of residential schools. It is a day that honors the thousands of children that were stripped away from their families. They were stripped of their language, their culture, their identity. And many of them didn't make it home. When we wear orange, we make a powerful statement. We say we remember. We say we stand with you. We say we commit to reconciliation. So what message are we sending when employees of the justice system, the very people who work to uphold principles of fairness and equality, are denied the right to express their support for this cause? What are we saying when those who want to raise awareness are met with resistance and silence? How can we expect a system to deliver justice for Indigenous people when it refuses to acknowledge the very history that continues to harm us? This refusal is not just a matter of policy. It's a clear act of dismissal and disrespect for the truth. It tells Indigenous people and all Canadians that their pain, their history, their truth can be dismissed and can be forgotten. It tells us that our trauma, it can be ignored, can be swept aside, it can be forgotten. To deny the right to wear orange, to block the voices of those who wish to spread understanding, is to stand on the wrong side of history. Honestly, it's an insult to the survivors, their families, and to every person who's committed to reconciliation. Our justice system should be a beacon of truth. It should lead by example and not hide from uncomfortable truths. We cannot move forward as a province or as a country if our institutions are unwilling to face this truth. Wearing an orange shirt is a small, but it's a significant step towards reconciliation and showing that we're committed, all of us, to doing better. So to those in power, I say, honor the voices of your employees. Honor the truth of Indigenous people. Allow the simple act of wearing an orange shirt to stand for the commitment that we must all make towards reconciliation. Reconciliation is not optional. It's not a box that can be checked off or a once-a-year performance. It's a fundamental shift in how we understand and repair the relationship with Indigenous peoples and the institutions that have caused them harm. And until every single one of us in every system, every role commits to that, we're failing. In closing, I want to echo some of the comments that our leaders have already made. I want to echo their calls to the province to make September 30th a statutory holiday. Allow your people, allow everyone in this region to come together to learn, to heal, to develop understanding. To the provincial justice system, I say, we need to educate your people. It's not just judges and lawyers, it's the bailiffs, the court reporters, everyone in those systems needs to be educated on the true history of our nation. We can, to those systems, to the province, I say, you can become a beacon of a new standard. If you want to, you can do this. It's within your power. To the women, I want to acknowledge them that experience this. I want to say I'm sorry that you had to go through that. To stand for something like this, to be so proud, to be able to try and raise awareness and understanding, and to be denied that, it's hurtful. And I hope they're doing okay. I hope they have the support that they need. To everyone here, I hope that you don't take this in the wrong way. We stand here, like the chiefs have said, to offer a hand, to support you, to help you. To the province, to the government, to the justice system. Sit down with us. Hear us. Because you can, if you want to. Thank you.
I think I'm going to steal his notes. Thank you for those very wise words, Vice Chief Craig. And bringing the Saskatchewan government to call, for putting them, to allowing them to come and sit with us, to understand what this means to us. I'm going to call upon our chief of the Buffalo River Dene Nation, Chief Norma Cataract.
Marcy Chochuk, Marcy Dabanastanza da Dananute Dialtia, After the Banaba Dialti, Dungabi, Ajani Dillet and Marcy Cho. No Hayatia not, sir. No Hayatia, he delonde, it's a right desa. No hell than two, another, Eltile, no hello in a baba. Denetran, estudanet inung, tatsau nahdel nisan. Dok enay desilting. Baba shani del jan. Benni narat saru abekwani delile baba dayelti, betaraiti ha, ha jani del. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone that's here. I thank the elders for the prayers this morning. Thanks to my fellow chiefs for their comments this morning. Like Chuk said, my response was going to be totally different till I found out what our elders are telling us to be respectful. As First Nations people, we are all raised with respect. It's one of the sacred teachings of our forefathers, ones we pass down to generation to generation. Truth and reconciliation means the truth, it did happen. We are acknowledging the truth. It has happened and it did happen. Reconciliation means we are going to work with you, to help you to understand the hurt you've caused for generations. We are told we focus on 7 generations every time we make decisions in our lives. And this decision to the provincial government is going to reflect back on you. Because to have to defend someone who is acknowledging the truth that's happened and acknowledging that there is reconciliation that needs to be done, you need to take the time and come and sit with us and understand. The 7 teachings of our sacred fathers is love, humility, wisdom, respect, honesty, and truth. Come to our table as First Nations people and understand the hurt and pain that our people have suffered, but we are still here. We are strong. We are united. And we're going to bring this forward to everyone and anyone that's going to listen to us. Because we need to heal as a nation. We need to heal as a province. So with that, thank you everyone for listening to me. I hope you have a good day, and truth and reconciliation is every single day for us. Marcy Cho.
Thank you, Chief Norma. We need to have our languages included in our presentations. I was taught that from my partner Labada. Always have your language in our presentations, because that is who identifies who we are. Our language identifies who we are. I'm going to call upon our good friend who is in election mode right now, but we still invite him as a good friend, the Vice Chief of the FSIN, Ms. David Pratt.
Good morning, everybody. Gitstamska Tinawa, Nawago Gamantik, David Pratt, Nasigo San Muscapiring, Ochinia. First of all, I acknowledge each and every one of you, and I greet each and every one of you today, my friends and relatives. Aglenete, salute Tina, acknowledge all of our Dene as well, too, that are in the room. I know Cree and Dene is a part of this tribal council, and we try our best to recognize and speak the language and honor that, because that's what the government did their best to eradicate and wipe out, was our languages and who we are as First Nations people. I want to thank our elders this morning for lifting pipe, our Kateak always being there to support us and to start things off in a good way with prayer and ceremony. That's the way our protocol always is, and that's why we pray and we rely on them, but not only to pray for us, but we rely on them to give us direction and guidance when we need it, when there's tough issues that come. I want to acknowledge Tribal Chief Fourhorns, not Fourhorns, Norman. I'm getting you mixed up already. It's going to be tough because we got Tribal Chief Jeremy Fourhorns, and now we've got Tribal Chief Jeremy Norman. So my own tribal council. So I want to acknowledge the new tribal chief. It'll take me a while. I'll probably mix it up a few more times, but I'll eventually get to Norman. But I will acknowledge Tribal Chief Norman too on his acclamation too as well, and his role that he's taking on here, leading the 9-member nations of the Meadow Lake Tribal Council. It's a big responsibility, so Tribal Chief, our prayers will be with you, and our support will be there with the Federation any way that we can serve. Of course, my good friend here, Chuk, everybody knows him, Vice Chief Ferosher too as well, for all his hard work and for filling in there and being the acting Tribal Chief. He wasn't acting up though, but he was the acting Tribal Chief for those last few months. We acknowledge him for the leadership, and of course our late friend Labada, no stranger to many of us here in this room and across the province. Everybody was really hurt when he made his journey and he passed on, but Creator saw fit to take him home, and now he's resting, and he's with his family and his ancestors, and we'll see him again. All the chiefs that are here, as well as all the staff, thank you so much for all coming, members of the media. It's a sad day of what took place here on Monday, this past Monday on Orange Shirt Day, a day that should be a day of reflection, a day that should be a day of healing, a day that should be a day where we shed some tears and we think about our mothers and our fathers that are, many of us that are still with us, but many of them that have gone on, our grandparents. And some of us that are sitting in this room that actually are still alive, that attended the residential school system. But what I see is this, as many speakers have talked about, is an opportunity to educate. It's an opportunity to take a bad situation and turn it around for something good. To our 2 ladies that had to endure this, our thoughts and our prayers are with you, because I know it was re-triggering and re-traumatizing what you had to face on Monday. We have a lot of work to do yet in this province. We have a lot of work. When our people can still be punished for acknowledging our survivors of the residential school system, that's not right. Chief Cadrat talked about respect. We've all been raised to respect each other. We've all been raised to follow those good teachings from our elders and from our parents and grandparents, to be good to people, to be kind to one another. We're a very forgiving people for everything that we've been through and all of our collective suffering across this region. We'll still laugh and make jokes. And often tell non-Indigenous people, if First Nations people like you, they're going to tease you. If they don't tease you, they don't like you. That's just how we are. We're a very forgiving, kind people. We try our best to show love and to be good to people. Many of us still practice those old ways. When people come to our house, they still get a hot cup of tea and a cookie. You know, we're carrying on Kokum and Mushum, what they did when they were still with us. So that's our way. So to the women that had to experience this, you have our support from our federation. You have our love. You have our prayers. We are with you. We're here today to stand with those two individuals that had to endure that. But we also call upon the provincial government. You know, Minister Jeremy Harrison, another Jeremy, but I got his name right. Minister Jeremy Harrison is from this city. You know, we're in election mode right now. I think it's up to each and every one of us when he comes knocking on our doors here in Meadow Lake and on Flying Dust to give him that message that Saskatchewan has to come into the 21st century. They can't be sitting back there. It's a disgrace and it's an embarrassment that out of all the provinces and territories across this country, only 2 regions have refused to recognize Orange Shirt Day as a statutory holiday. And I'm embarrassed that Saskatchewan's one of them. And the other jurisdiction is Ontario that do not recognize it. Yet, we had the highest amount of residential schools in the entire country. Think of that. We had the highest amount of living survivors in the entire country. Think about that. But yet we have a premier who can wear an orange shirt, but refuses to acknowledge the pain and the suffering of not only of our people that have passed on, but all of our people that are still sitting in this room that are alive. Think of that. That's not right. And that's the message we need to be delivering to Minister Harrison. I was joking with Chief Bear over there, telling him, when you get on the ice and you're playing Jeremy at the rec league, you know, chuck him into the boards and tell him he's got to do something. I was just teasing. I don't promote violence. Things get twisted. But we have to send that message to our leadership, not just our chiefs are all on the record here. Chief Dawatser and Chief Cataract. They're all on the record, tribal chiefs. That changes need to happen. It's up to the non-First Nations leadership now for them to hear that message. And that's the message I hope that filters through today when the media leaves here, that message gets through. Make it a statutory holiday. What's wrong with having another day off? I know the white people will love it. They'll have another day off to go to the barbecue and do whatever they got to do like the rest of us. But that's something that we got to do and enjoy, right? And to recognize. And it's significant. And that's part of reconciliation. If we're going to heal, if we're going to move forward collectively, if we're going to heal those relationships amongst one another, not just amongst brothers and sisters, it starts with recognizing the pain and the suffering that our people went through. That, as much as we hold Veterans Day, November 11th, high, and our veterans, and we acknowledge them, and we go wear those poppies, and we go stand there at the cenotaph and recognize our veterans. The same way on Orange Shirt Day, we got to recognize the little ones that didn't make it home. Phyllis Webstead, 6 years old. Where did Orange Shirt Day come from? 6 years old. She was packed off for that residential school in British Columbia. And she had that orange shirt, the nicer shirt she had. And as soon as she got taken into the residential school, the priests and nuns took it from her. And the pain and the suffering and the shame and the loss that 6-year-old baby went through. And now look at all of us. Look at her story. Look at how it's made a difference in all of us. We all wear orange now on the 30th. Some tribal councils even wear orange every Friday, because they believe every week we need to be thinking about our survivors. Every week we need to be thinking about our ancestors. So that's what we call upon today. We call upon, to stop the punishment of our people and recognizing Orange Shirt Day, but also the government of the province to recognize Orange Shirt Day as a stat holiday, because number one, we have the largest number of living survivors in the whole country. And number two, we have the largest number of residential schools in the country. That alone should be enough for the cabinet. When they're reelected, they need to make that one of their first decisions. Might not be a priority to them, but it's a priority to all of us in this room, or we wouldn't be here today wearing orange shirts. So that, Chemigwich, hi, merci cho.
So this would conclude our press conference here today. To end it though, to those two ladies that were shamed by something that was so proud, when they left home that morning wearing their orange shirt and their orange skirt. I know they left their home early that morning with pride. One of the ladies is a survivor, second-generation survivor. And she left home that morning proud of the shirt that she wore that day. It wasn't a t-shirt, it was a working blouse. Work clothes, but it was orange. The way I see it is they silenced her spirit. She fought to stay to work. but they eventually made her go home. Now, if you have to worry about your employment because of your beliefs, because of something you believe strongly in, there's something wrong. It's so simple. I say in most of my speaks, I speak about how simple life is. It is us as human beings that make life difficult. How sad is it that somebody believes strongly in something and they cannot practice it in their work? I remember years ago the same discussion. I believe it was in the 80s or the early 90s, when members of the RCMP that wore their traditional headgear, turban, had the same fight with the RCMP. That was right. That was right. Made right. We're asking for the same thing from mainstream Saskatchewan, from the government of Saskatchewan. Let's make this right. Let's do it right. I'm going to ask all the chiefs to put on their headdresses and raise our arms in victory and raise our arms in togetherness, in unity for those two ladies that were shamed on Monday, just because who they are and because of their history and doing something that they believed in. We believe in you. We believe in you, ladies. We support you, ladies. We love you, ladies. And we're going to put up our arms in victory because this is going to be victorious. This isn't going to stop here. We're going to get it till we get what we want in recognizing Orange Shirt Day and recognizing our survivors and recognizing what our history has been with the residential schools. This is what we want. Aho.